Hello, hello, hello. It is Monday again. Imagine that, right? How many more Mondays will it be fun days? I don't know. I don't know. We're just going to go with the flow for now and see what happens. Okay, so Wednesday we had a show, a live show, and I hope you saw it. First, I want to get into shout outs. Shout out to CR, Sick and Shut In. I pray God help you to shake that pandemic virus right off and give you more time, little boy, a little more time to be a young man and grow up into an old man. How about that? He's such a sweetheart, CR. And all the rest of the guys, is your room clean? Is your room clean? All right, y'all get some sleep and have fun before you go back to school the next day. But anyway, so today um we want to understand what adroit living is about first. Okay, adroit living is clever, living skillfully, um, kind of out of the box, kind of, doing what you do the best, not, what you told to do. We read directions all the time. It's not that we don't read the directions. What we tend to do is just throw it out and build something completely new. If you're a Lego person, you know what I mean. You build the Legos, you do what you gotta do. Then there's some not missing, but there's some extra pieces. And you're looking at those extra pieces. If you're a really diehard fan of Legos, you're looking at those extra pieces like, I could do something with this. And then you start cleverly thinking of things that you could do with those Lego pieces. That's what adroit living is. Hey Bobby, how you doing? Thanks for coming. Um, that's Bobby. That's my big brother right there. So I want to talk about. I didn't get a chance to talk about it because we were talking about so many different topics. And Wednesday, we did a special, and on that special, it turned out to be 3 hours long. Last Wednesday, it was a 3 hour long show because I wanted the show to just flow naturally and whatever transpired, just let it, go with it, go with it. So, hey, Sean Anthony, how you doing? Um, so what I don't like it when a lot of times people they catch my show at the last minute and I'm like, oh, I gotta go. I'm so sorry, I gotta go. And I feel bad because I'm like, I don't want to keep the show going for the people who've been sitting here for a whole hour. Sometimes people have other things they have to do, and I have to be respectful of everyone's time. It's not that I don't want to stay longer, and those people that just dive in at the end, like they on fire for the topic, but I gotta go sometimes. But Wednesday, I did stay longer. Hi, Matthew. I stayed longer because the show was something everyone was asking for. They wanted an after five show. My husband keep pulling my attention to a lot of the topics that I'm speaking on are after five topics, and we don't want to have young people who a lot of parents may not feel comfortable with them knowing those after five subjects of marriage and relationships in such a detail as if we did on Wednesday. We want to be respectful of those parents that might want their children to be in bed before we get into those type of topics. So the show ran a little longer, so it was after five everywhere in the states. Okay, if you were overseas and you saw whatever you saw, sorry, I'm sorry. You just have to you have to imagine it's 5 o'clock over here. It was 5 o'clock. So another thing, there were some definitions in Wednesday's um, show that some people may not have caught, and that's why I would repeat what the definition was. It was alpha female, and I can only speak for alpha female because I'm an alpha female, so I cannot speak for other types of females. But we had other representations on there, so it was somebody on there for everyone. Um, A lot of times we see in this society, there are a lot of alpha females. So let's define an alpha female. An alpha female um, is a very headstrong person. She is a go getter. She's driven, self driven. You don't have to motivate her. You don't have to stimulate her. She can get it going and finish it up, all by herself. She doesn't need anyone, but having someone is something that she may want. Therefore, it is as valuable as needing someone. So let's say how a lot of strong sisters out there are saying, I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I can feel that. I don't need a man either, but I want one. So I picked one that I wanted to say yes to. And I built a relationship with that person to let that person understand that, okay, yeah, while I am who I am, I can still see being with you. I can see making this relationship work. So it's not about um alphas and betas not getting along, because there's no such thing. Just like there's no such thing as, oh, only opposites attract or only same personalities attract. It's a matter of, this is the person that I love. This is the person that I want to be with. This is the person I'm gonna make it work with, regardless of hell or high water, because hell and high water is coming. Okay, we can't control the problems that we're gonna have all the time, but what we can control is who we want to do those problems with, who we want to work things out with, and if that person is willing to stay with you and stick it out with you through thick and thin, then you can control what you have to change in order to be with that person. There's nothing wrong with changing some things to improve yourself to be with somebody who's helping you build yourself. Now, there is something wrong with being with someone who's tearing you down in order to make themselves feel better or look better, or to manipulate you and control you. And a lot of times, a lot of reasons why people don't want to be with an alpha or beta or somebody with a strong personality is because they feel like that person will overwhelm them, be overbearing, and try to control them and try to make them do things, and like they don't have any autonomy of their own. They don't have free will to do as they will. And that's not necessarily the case. That is a character flaw. That is not necessarily a beta. That's not an alpha. That's a character flaw that you have to recognize in that person. And a lot of times people have uh, a dark triad personality. Let's talk about dark triad personality for a moment. Some people are really big with this narcissism um, definition. Everybody's a narcissist because now everybody knows what narcissism is. But a lot of people have a bit of more of a dark triad personality where you have multiple problems, and it's not just narcissism, it's um, dark personality traits, and the narcissism in that person is what's coming out, that's making everybody more aware that something's going on with this person that's not quite right. And a lot of times the reason why the people are having more of a problem mentally is because they're trying so hard to control what's wrong with them. And a lot of times, people are, when you're trying to control what's going on wrong in your life, instead of facing it head on and trying to deal with it, you're trying to control it. And what you do is, a lot of people, they hurt themselves. They inflict pain on themselves, trying to control how they hurt, when they hurt. It's like someone slapping you in the face and saying, "Oh, now you're not thinking about that other pain. You're not thinking about that female that left you, because now your boy just slapped you in the face to help you to, get over thinking about that girl." But a lot of times it's more serious than somebody slapping you in the face, because now you're trying to control when you hurt, how you hurt, because that might have been successful and you didn't understand that, because you felt that that was successful. Now you're going to keep on. For example, sometimes people, They get out of a relationship and they get right into another relationship, and they may not be thinking about it as, okay, now I'm developing a pattern, and this is not a good pattern. And what you want to do is, it's okay, acknowledge that something's going wrong and address it head on. A lot of times when we address our problems and the things that's hurting us head on, we're better able to control it that way. So now you got to start reconditioning your mind to control your problems and the things that's hurting you in a different way. Instead of avoiding it, face it head on. Just, if you don't, it's just going to keep on, dragging on, and it gets to control how long you hurt and when you hurt. So now you have to recondition your mind. Now, a lot of this that I talk about in the Adroit Living session of the Erudition Network is how to recondition your thinking. Because a lot of the thinking that we think, it has us in dark places, and these dark places, we don't understand how we're perpetuating those dark feelings, those dark thoughts, and why it's getting worse, why it's impeding on our sleep, impeding on our ability to be happy, and dampening our joy just a little bit, because it's always in the back of our minds how we got this problem that we can't solve or can't figure out. And some people say, well, just let it go for a while. Yes, if you're dwelling on it too long, it's a good idea to let it go for a little while, because you want to try to enjoy some things and then come back to it from a different angle. Talk to different people. And that's why your circle, you should have different people that grow you. The different type of peoples that can grow you are those that don't accept just one word answers. And that's why a lot of women are really big on guys who don't have one word answers, because they need those words to help them to think of different ways to come at a problem. And that's why even an alpha female, she does need somebody. It doesn't have to be a man, but she does need somebody as a sounding board. Throw some ideas off of that person, bounce some problems off of that person, uh, some just thoughts, vent a little bit. And see, that's why it's never about the money. A lot of people get confused by, oh, well, this guy got some money. I could talk to this guy. Or this. It's not about the money, because it's about the mindset. And the mindset can be viewed in the conversation, not a one word answer, but a conversation where a person can say, okay, I can trust that you are going to be able to help me solve or think of some stuff. That was your problem a long time ago, letting go, Bobby. Yeah, sometimes we got to let it go for a while and come back at it at another time, and then you can have a different perspective of it. So yeah, you got to face it head on, and try to just work it out. But when you exhaust all of the things that you could possibly think of, you got to step back, let go. And a lot of it is you have to pray, because you're too close up on it. Everything's too, you trying to control too much. You need to let go of control. It's gonna hurt for a while. And it's okay. And a lot of times we have to understand that it's okay to hurt. Some people say, oh, you hurt, you always hurt, you always hurt. You always find some reason to hurt. Okay, I thank you for your perspective and your feedback. Now let me think about this. Let me digest this a little bit and examine myself and see if this is an accurate statement. Is this what I'm about? Is this how uh, things are going with my life? Is this a stage in my life? And the more that people tell you, don't think of it as letting it tear you down. Don't think of your flaws as being something that's tearing you down, but something that builds you up, because now you have something that you know that you can use to grow yourself. How wonderful would, how much more wonderful, because you're already wonderful, and somebody loves you, even if they're too scared to tell you. Somebody out there loves you. But how much more wonderful would you be if you were able to take those things that you think are your flaws, your imperfections, and make them work for you? A lot of times people, they'll see somebody limping, somebody walking and limping, somebody walking and limping, and because that person is such a cool character, Everybody wants to have that walk now. They calling this swag. They calling this swag. But the reason why that person is limping because they have a limp and they can't help it. That's the way they walk. But a lot of people used to make fun of people that will walk like that. Now it's just swag, you know? So you have to stop thinking about these things that's wrong, quote unquote, or things that you don't like about yourself, or things that you would rather not have happening to you. And you have to use that to say, this is what makes me unique. This is what makes me most attractive. This is what's going to draw the right attention to me and remove all those things from me that shouldn't be around me. A lot of times we get upset because people leave our circle. It was purposeful for them to leave, and it's okay, so some people understand how difficult it is to watch their brother or sister or someone they love um, to be hurt. And if you just have that one person, it's not about money and what that person can give you. It's about love. Just having that one person that loves you and they don't really want nothing from you. Who does that? Sometime a stranger may come up to you and just, tell you, wow, you really rocking them shoes. Wow, you really rocking that outfit. Wow, you looking it. That's God sending you a stranger to tell you just that one thing that's going to build you for that moment of your weakest moment. And a lot of times that allows you to have that mental flexibility that's so strong that really it kind of overshadows all the darkness that you were feeling in that moment. And all of it just goes away because some stranger just walked up to you, smiled, and told you doing the thing today. That's something that you just can't pay for. You can't buy it. And it makes you smile even for a moment. There's a doctor, Paul McGee, and I call him the doctor of laughter because he wrote about laughter being healing. A lot of times we think, oh, that person just goofy, that person just goofy. If you see somebody who laughs a lot, you could be looking at somebody who's hurting a lot. Somebody who is hurting a lot. Think about it. How many times you've seen comedians out here saying that their therapy is them being on stage clowning, making all kinds of jokes. They're laughing away their pain and they're choosing when to focus on their pain, how to focus on their pain, and when to let it go and when to fix it. And a lot of times they're using the audience as a sounding board. They're using the audience as some way to vent. Everybody has to find their way to vent that's good for them so that you can start to rethink about how you are controlling your pain. How are you making things better for yourself? And a large way of understanding how you're being successful with that is to use that chart of hierarchy of needs that I gave you and say, this is how I was able to fulfill this part of my needs. And when you're tracking it like that, some people say, well, track your diet so that you will know what you're eating and what's making you feel good or bad. If you're tracking what's making you feel good today, what fed into this part of your hierarchy of human needs in this manner, guess what? Now you starting to build yourself and repair a lot of the holes that the hurt made in your life. And now you're starting to be able to control your pain. You see how that worked? Did you see how that worked? Now you're able to control your pain because you're able to do that. That chart was for a reason. These shows are for a reason. I want people to be able to first help yourself. Just like they tell you when you get on the airplane, if something happens, put the mask on yourself first and then try to help your neighbor. You got to help yourself first. And there's so many people out here that don't know how. And that's why these videos are very important. And I would like for you to share it, subscribe, like, and hit the bell so that when it's on, if it's somebody that you know that this benefited, tell them to come on when I'm on. Tell them to hit me up in them comments. Ask me some questions and see what it is that I can answer for you to help you to reach that help that you need. Because a lot of times we we want help, but we don't know how to ask for it. We need help, but we don't know where it is and how to get it. And a lot of times it just comes by asking. Just ask. Just be in the right place at the right time. A lot of people don't know what's the right place, what's the right time. I need help now. Where is it? And that's why you have prayer, because no matter what you do, no matter how much of a sinner you are, no matter how many things you're doing wrong, God is always ready to answer your question right there. But when you need a person, you got to wait for the person. You got to be there when the person is there. And a lot of times we pass in ships in the night. So that's why these videos are important, because this is a ship that won't pass in the night because you have all the other videos there to help you. Now, a lot of people were asking for that Wednesday show, and they were like, can you do it after 5 on marriage and relationships in an intimate, a more intimate manner? And the reason why that was important is because a lot of people are struggling with the idea of sex, relationships, marriage, and the value of it, the true value. And a lot of men, they're not understanding why women want to get married. A lot of women don't understand why men don't want to get married. And then you have those that's just, in the middle and just going back and forth with whatever way the biggest vote goes. But the problem is it makes us feel some type of way because we haven't answered questions. And that's why that show was very important. Just because you have desires and just because you have a particular lifestyle that you led and you don't feel worthy of having the type of relationship that you want, you can still have that. Hello, Taisha. You can still have that. And that's why that hierarchies of need chart was very important to put out there, because when you finish that, you're going to start to see, yeah, I am worth it. It's like writing your resume, right? And then you give it to a professional. And that professional take that little information that you put on there and ask you a couple of questions here and there. And you're like, wow, they give you back your resume like, this my resume? This all the work I did? What? Wow, the difference it makes that a professional helps you from just you helping yourself, but they need something to work with. So you have your hierarchies of need chart, and then you present that as along with the information that you've been doing to help yourself. You present that to a professional, and now you can see if that professional is helping you or not helping you. And you can move around accordingly. You don't have to just stay subjected to whomever it is that you feel is there because, oh, they're there, they're available, accessible, whatever. You can always move around and find the help that you need. For example, that is a part of controlling how you hurt, controlling when you hurt, controlling who hurts you. Now, sometimes you can't control who hurts you, and then you sit there, you dwell in it a little too long. Now you hurting you. You're hurting you. You could control you hurting you or you not hurting you by removing yourself from the situation. And it's like, how can I remove myself from the situation? How do I know when to remove myself from the situation? Go back to that hierarchy of needs chart. How is this growing you? How is this building you? How is this feeding into something that you want? Now start putting your goals. Put your goals on top of the hierarchy of needs chart. And now, according to your goals, put in that chart, prioritize what it is that you want, how what step it is you need to get to. Okay, so the first step you might want to get to is, okay, I need my foot in the door. Who's going to help me get my foot in the door? What is going to help me get my foot in the door? What do I do? What mentorship do you need? And a lot of times you have to understand, mentorship is not about somebody being your mother or your father over you in the program that you're desiring to be in. That's not what it's about. It's about this person. I'm gonna tell you why I looked for my elders in my community of psychology when I was um, just thirsty, seeking more help because all of my family members, that's my elders in the field, they were dying. So now, who do I trust? Who can I go to that's still here and can guide and show me where all the landmines are in this situation? See, a lot of times mentorship is about teaching you where the problems are, how to get around the problems, how to avoid the problems, and a lot of times you may still go into that problem. They can tell you how to get through the problem. Okay. So it's not a bad thing to get mentorship. It's not a bad thing to mentor someone because now you have somebody that is going to appreciate you, and you never know when they're going to return that favor or how they're going to return the favor because you don't know who they know and who knows them or who loves them and happy that they got that help from you. And now they're going to be a blessing to you in your hour. And so many people are starting to see that this is a small world we live in and everybody knows everybody. So you definitely want to be on board with helping somebody in your journey that's always going to come back and pay it forward for you. So don't think of mentorship as, oh, this is another problem I have. This is another situation I have. I readily welcome all the people that cross my path. I don't wait for the problem to get so big and so overwhelming that I'm saying, oh, now I'll come in and put out the fire. No, you wrong. You wrong. You have to do it when it's on you. Do it when you feel it. And there's a lot of times where we feel like that's I'm fighting the temptation to go and help. And why am I fighting the temptation to go help? Find a way to help. I know it's a lot of times we feel afraid because we're already trying to control our own pain. Who am I to help somebody else? But a lot of times when we helping somebody else in our hour of need, we actually get extra blessings for that. So it's good to help people in your hour of need because now God, like, you know what? You got balls, you got gusto, you knew you needed, but you went out, you helped somebody else, extra measure on top of the extra measure that you was already gonna get blessed with. So it's a good thing. A lot of times people are conditioned to think that if I need something, I can't help somebody. You don't help at your own detriment, of course. You don't hurt and help somebody. You can't breathe, but you putting a mask on their face. You share the mask, back and forth, but you don't just say, here, you just hold the mask the whole time. This is a Titanic. Y'all go share. We gonna float together and we'll die stiff together, or we'll get saved together. Okay. You can't just live with that kind of guilt for forever, and when you could have been more helpful. I understand you want to control when you die, you want to control how you hurt, but you also have to be considerate of others. Now, I also want to take the moment to say I am so, so very happy about Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson being in the Senate seat. She got a seat, y'all. She got a seat, and her voice has been amplified via that seat. But I also want to point out how she's a virtuous woman. All the things that she was going through, and God allowed everybody to see. They tried so hard to just expose her. And this is why it's important for virtuous people and good people that are good to the heart to be out there. Because a lot of times when people are trying so hard to show, oh, she can't be that good, she can't be that good. Look, she did this wrong. No, she had to have done this wrong. They could not find anything that she did wrong, and that just magnified how virtuous that woman is. She's a mother, she's a wife, she juggled law school and being a judge and being a mother. Kudos, hats off to you, because I promise you, just doing a little bit that I'm doing is a lot for me, but I can't even imagine all the things that she had to do and endure. And she was in a mixed relationship. And it's like, it's not a big deal to a lot of people who are accepting and embracing of multicultural relationships, But a lot of people, I'm sure they were on them about the fact that it's a black woman, an intelligent, strong black woman, and she's married to a white man. I'm sure a lot of the men were like, man, it's a white woman out here for you. Why you got to be with a black woman? I'm sure they faced all kinds of problems, and I'm sure that every chance that they got, they threw all of those problems that Judge Kataji had experienced through her entire career. They threw it all back at her face. But see, this is the one thing that I saw when I looked at it. I saw God raised the standard, and it made my heart light, because what purpose is it to be a virtuous anything when you're going to have the same problems as everybody else? That's a question that keeps coming up in conversations that people have at me. And let me explain. When people having conversations at you, it's like they're trying to attack you without attacking you, because they don't want that backlash. They don't want all of that coming back on them. Let me answer that question. Did you watch Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson get that seat? That's the difference it makes. What difference do it make to be a good woman? What difference do it make to not be a cheater in your relationship when ain't nobody gonna find out? Somebody gonna find out, and they gonna throw it in your face at the least expected time. And it's gonna be at the time that it's the most damaging. And it's like, I didn't even think anybody saw that. I didn't know anybody knew that. You always want that to be a positive, not a negative. Oh, I didn't know anybody saw me give that person something. You don't have to post everything that you do. You don't have to post giving everybody something and making them smile. It's sometimes you just keep that on the DL, because that's feeding you, that's growing you, because you did that without being exposed. And a lot of people say, well, what good does that do? What good does that do? I'm sure back in the beginning of her career, she wasn't thinking about, how's this going to benefit me 50 years from today, 30 years from today? For me to have a good heart as a little girl, have a good heart as a mature young lady coming into my own, have a good heart and different type of positive relationships across the aisle. Who's reaching across the aisle? People just don't do that. So why should I? And a lot of people may have told her, you don't have to do that, Judge. You don't have to do that. You don't have to include everybody. You don't have to be nice to everybody. You don't have to try to make everything fair. She did, because that was who she is. So a part of being a virtuous person, and if you ask me, she's a good definition of what an alpha female is, because it's not that an alpha female is so headstrong to the point where she doesn't know when to be demure. Okay, she doesn't know when to calm it down, soften it up. It's one person. It's only one person I do that for, and I wasn't going to give it all until I got into the marriage, because yeah, I'm not giving my power to nobody. I'm not laying up under nobody telling me nothing, and we ain't married. That's a lot of times what an alpha female is waiting for. So a lot of guys may be intimidated until she relinquishes her power. And a lot of alpha females are like, you're not gonna trap me up like that. You're not gonna trap a lot of females up like that, or a lot of men. They're not gonna be as vulnerable to you until you accept their proposal to do what they want you to do, and they see that this is what you're trying to do, because they don't want to relinquish the control over their emotions to you unless you show them what they need to see. And that's what an alpha female does. Now, a beta female, she may be willing to do that, and you may get away with it for X amount of time until a sister talk to her and say, hey, sister, I love you, and you don't have to do this. You don't have to, you can get what you need without having somebody run all over you and take all of your power without giving you a good reason as to why they should have that power, why they should continue to retain that power. So take your power back until that person gives you what it is you looking for, what it is you need. And all love is not sexual, intimate. I want to touch you. I want to do sexual things with you. A lot of love is that you giving me something that I need. You telling me the truth in a manner that doesn't hurt. You're showing me correction in a manner that doesn't hurt me to the point where it's tearing me down, but it hurts me that it's helping me to melt away all that stuff that's undesirable and making room to build what's positive. And it may hurt to build positive stuff because it's new, it's different. It may not fit like the shoes that they look good in the store and they your size, but they not feeling so good right away. But once you break them shoes in, they the best pair of shoes you have ever had to that date, you know. So think of it like shoes. And ladies, y'all know y'all be wearing them shoes now. And let me tell you, some of you girls be doing them stilettos, and I gotta say, work it, okay? Y'all be doing it, and you be hurting and you be grimacing, but it's all internal. You never let nobody see how bad you hurt. You controlling your pain mentally. It's a lot of strong women in stilettos, okay? They rocking them stilettos. They're controlling their pain mentally, and you have no idea how mentally strong this woman is because you don't even see the pain she's in. You have no idea what kind of pain she's in, and you take it that she looks so gorgeous, and she's smiling, and she rocking them shoes, she rocking that outfit. Everything must be going great for her. Yeah, tall and all. You could, and a lot of guys, they like it when you tall, Taisha. They like looking at them legs. I can't even imagine how many times somebody that was tall in them stilettos and them guys looking like they really want to say, man, if they don't say anything else to this woman, you doing it. You doing it. He may not even say how she doing it, but a lot of times men say things without actually communicating in words. It's that body language that they do. They may rub their face, they may, give a little glance, they may be like, yeah. You gotta understand the body language. And a lot of times women a beta woman, she wants you to communicate a lot. She wants you to talk a lot. And a lot of guys, they feel like that kind of woman is too needy. She's too clingy. She wants too much. She doing too much. She doing the most. Well, I always got to give you so much conversation for affirmation that I want to be with you. And it's like, what I should say? Okay. And what is that? And Teddy says many people are out seeking a romantic rather than building up for a platonic relationship. Okay, and a lot of times people like that's why I like that Love is Blind show because it's showing the power of building a real relationship by first talking to people. I don't know what y'all doing on dates if y'all not talking to people and getting to know them. I mean, the movie is one thing, but you got to get to the movie and leave from the movie. So, what are y'all talking about during that time? And then when you're at dinner, what are you talking about during dinner? And then, whatever it is that the activities that you're doing, what is it that you're talking about that you don't know a person in 3 weeks? You should know about everything there is to know about somebody that week one so that you will know to make it to week two. Don't drag it out. Talk to them, ask them. Some people get mad because on the first date, a lot of women they over divulge what's on their mind, what they expect, what their intentions are. And a lot of men, alpha male, he can respect that. He like, yeah, yeah, that ain't what I'm looking for. Next, or he'll get to a female and be like, man, you know what? You talking right. You talking right day one. Wow, I never had that. He had it. He just didn't like what he was hearing, so he nexted her. He swiped on her like next. And there's nothing wrong with that because one thing you don't want is for somebody to waste your time. So a lot of times people try to control their pain by controlling their time. And if they could control how much time they spend with somebody, then they can control when this relationship is going to end, or how many times this person hurts my feelings. Like this one comedian was saying, he was looking on Tinder, and it was so many things that he was reading in the profile that hurt his feelings, and he hadn't even talked to the person yet. It's like that preview. You don't even need to swipe on this person now, because now you already know they've already rejected you before you even had the chance to say anything. A lot of times, the reason why people reject people straight off like that is because they don't understand how they are closing themselves off to finding someone who's really going to love them. It's not about body type. And that's why I love the show Love is Blind, because it's not about body type. It's not about nothing but your conversation straight off. How you talking? What you saying? How you doing? Okay, okay. Maybe I would like to talk to you. Let's talk more. Let's talk more. And the more they talk, the more they actually fell in love with them mentally before they ever saw them physically. And the reason why that's important is because you can't build on someone if you never get in touch with them mentally. If you can't connect with someone mentally, there's a big portion of your hierarchy of needs that's missing. And it's going to continue to be missing because you are trying to connect in a way that now it's like, I missed it. Now I got to try it. And then once you figured out that that's not going to happen. Now you've wasted or invested a lot of time. Then now you got to start over, or you feel it's wasted, or now you're determined not to let that be wasted. So now you're going to invest even more time in something that you did not, you can't control, that this just isn't for you. But if you would have let that go, if you would have just let it go, if you might find that letting it go opened up the opportunity and the time for you to find what it really is that you're looking for. A lot of times, in the Wednesday episode, we talked about how people could understand better when to let a relationship go or what a relationship looks like. And we talked about different aspects of relationships so that people wouldn't have dark thoughts about um, how they are and the thoughts that they have about those things that we mentioned. A lot of times people have dark thoughts because the world is telling you to have those dark thoughts, because it's saying, oh, well, you shouldn't this and you shouldn't that. And you have to go against what you feel innate in you to fit in with what they want you to have, you know, innate in you. You can't control what's innate in you. You have to just go with the flow and let things happen naturally. And once things start happening naturally, you'll start to feel fewer dark thoughts, fewer dark feelings. You'll behave in a lot of ways that's not as dark. Teddy says they're usually going too far. There's no problem in taking things slow. If you don't answer long-term based questions, one, you'll be surprised later on. Yeah, you'll be surprised later on if you try to ask long-term questions and that person was like, no, you didn't even make it that far. So a lot of times in that first week, you want to ask questions that, okay, maybe you didn't ask it on day one or day two, but here's day three, and what you're running out of topics. And if what I find helpful is if you mix it up, a little serious talk with a little play talk, and you don't avoid those difficult conversations, because it's those difficult conversations that y'all make it through that's going to build the relationship or let you know that this is not the relationship for you. And a lot of times I've seen where people, especially on these love shows, I've seen where people say, I'll change everything for this person. A young lady didn't want to have babies. It wasn't that she didn't want to have babies, it's that the person that she was with did not give her the security she required in order to feel comfortable having babies for him. I've seen that in relationships. A lot of people will leave a good relationship because that person is not giving them the security that they need in order for them to say, yeah, we can have children. Okay, you're gonna do what part? I'm gonna do this part. Okay, now can we switch it up? Can we be flexible? And that was one of the words that I used to define what a good woman is, and a good man. The ability to be flexible. You can't box yourself in to a stereotype, or say you don't want to be boxed into a stereotype, but still you're not flexible. You have to be flexible because life throws some curveballs at you. And if you can't, you know, the matrix, and be flexible and do what you gotta do, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hard hit, and you're gonna be down for the count for too long. And it was avoidable. So you have to be flexible to think of different ways to control things. And a lot of times we're human. We all want to control stuff because we want to control how long we happy and how we're happy and who makes us happy. And a lot of times we don't want to leave that because it feels so good. The love and everything that you feeling at the moment, you're like, man, this feels too good. I don't want to let this go. Yeah, it's a lot of people like that. For example, in Wednesday's show, I did share that a lot of times, you know, um, when I'm around people, I'm just loving on them. And people, they can feel that love and they want to sit there and bask in that love for as long as they can because it's so cold out here. It's so hard out here. And a lot of people, they don't get that unconditional love that they didn't do anything to earn. They're not gonna do anything to earn it. And it's like you still giving it. And it's like whenever that's returned, I always say, if you've ever done that for me, I've always said love was needed and love was well received because I'm always very appreciative when anybody's able to do that for me. So, if you look at people long enough, you'll find a good reason to pick anyone that you choose. So, who will you choose is always the best question because every day you're going to have to make the decision. This is the person that I choose. This is the person that I choose. Now you're going to have to find clever ways to work around doing the things that you need to do in order to build you, to build them, and to build together. And a lot of ways that Adroit Living does in building people is that it finds what you're missing. It finds what you need, what you're looking for, and it helps you to find the tools you need if you don't have it already, or to use the tools that you have to make what you want. That's clever. That's skillful. You using what you have, and you may have two sticks and a rock, but you need a hammer. Now you're gonna take them two sticks and a rock, you're gonna put it together, you're gonna make you a hammer, or you're gonna make something else, and it's still gonna be just as helpful and resourceful. That's what a lot of the adroit ideology is. You have to take what you need and take what you want, figure it out, work it out, be clever with it. You don't have to have directions on how to make it do what it do, and feel some type of way because oh you I don't know if I did. No, you have to understand that if we all thought in the box, right? If we all thought in the box, where will we be? There'll be no diversity. There'll be no growth. The economy would have crashed a long time ago. Relationships would be so dull and so missionary style that nobody will want to be in it because a part of the adventure is doing things differently. A part of things that make you happy is doing things differently, not in a controlled way. So don't think of things in a controlled way. Think outside the box, face it head on. And if you can, step out of it, take a breath, and come back to it. And then face it head on. And it's nothing wrong with trying to control your pain. It's about how you do it. That's what this video was about. How to do it. Reconditioning your thinking of how to do a lot of things that you were thinking and why it wasn't working for you. Why it was, you know, it seems to be going against you instead of for you. Why is it that you can't sleep at night when you're tired, you're drained, you're exhausted? You want to go to sleep, but it's like something's on your mind. What is it that I need to do? Go to that hierarchy of needs chart. Start thinking about it. Give different titles for it and filling in according to that title. Okay, is it my job? Put the name of your job up there. Then put the name of the job that you wish you had. And even if that job doesn't have a title, just another paper. And in that chart, the other job that you have, start filling in the different needs that it fulfills. Then in the one that you wish you had, fill in those things that you wish that you had. And slowly and surely, you will come to see the answers you're looking for that's keeping you awake at night. And then the more you work on it, you'll see you're able to get a little bit more sleep. You're able to get a little bit more sleep. Why is sleep important? Why do I keep saying people can't sleep at night? Sleep is important because that is when your body is healing itself. It is naturally, involuntarily healing itself. That's why you go into a deep sleep. That's why when the doctors say you need surgery, they put you what? To sleep. Adam was what? When God took that rib? Sleep. He could have did it while he was awake. He could have did it while he was awake and while he watched the whole process, like, oh God, what you doing with that? Oh my God, what is that? She has what? He could have he could have devastated that man. That man could have been like, oh my God, you are amazing. I'm gonna tell everybody. Look what he did. He did this and I saw everything. Maybe he didn't want him to see, and because it would have blown his mind, he couldn't grasp it. He was just a baby. He was just a couple of days old. You know, we babies for what, a whole 365 days. So God was like, no, you can't watch this. You gotta go sleep. And in that sleep, a lot of times we're healing and we are controlling how we heal because we having these dreams back and forth, back and forth. And sometimes we may wake up, cold sweats, and now our body stop healing. And we need to go back to sleep and heal some more. That's why when you sick, a lot of people say, well, you got to get some sleep. Here, take some medicine that's gonna make you go to sleep so you can heal and recover. Sleep is a good thing. So when you're not getting sleep, that's a bad thing because your body can't heal. The dark thoughts come even more like a flood instead of a flutter. And it's harder to fight those hard decisions and dark thoughts and control the dark behaviors that you have. And it's okay, but this is how you can help yourself before you can reach anybody else on earth that can help you. You have to help you. And before you can even uh accept help, before you can even ask for help, this is how you can help you. Just use this chart, go back through the videos and see, what am I saying? How can you do this? What can you do? And if you have questions, come to the live shows. I will answer the questions and help you out. But you also have to realize that I'm not helping you out to avoid you going out to seek help professionally. I'm helping you because the only person that's omnipresent is God. And a lot of times people don't want to pray. A lot of times people want another body there. And this is me showing you how the body that you have for yourself right there, you're not crazy. You can use your body, your mind. You can bounce these thoughts off of yourself, and this is how. And a lot of times people are told to write things out, write things down, and a lot of people don't understand. Well, what's the importance of that? What's the value in that? I don't want to write nothing down. Why I gotta write stuff down? Okay, you don't have to write it down. You can speak the text and have it written that way so that you can look it over, so you can look it through, and so that it can build on you, it can feed you. It's another way to examine yourself so you can see, what do I need? What am I missing? How am I going to build? How am I going to make this do what it do? What does this need to do? And then as you are doing these things, you're answering these questions for yourself. You're finding value, value, value where you did not see the value before. And it's going to make you feel so much better. It's going to make you feel accomplished. I like to tell my sons, feel accomplished. You did a little something, feel accomplished, because You need to celebrate those accomplishments. How can you see those accomplishments? You don't always need a plaque, a certificate, a degree. You don't always need that. That's good to have, but you need to be able to celebrate yourself. So write these things down so you can remember. I'm not saying have a diary or anything like that. If you don't want to have a diary, don't call it a diary. Don't call it a diary. But you need something that's going to help you see your growth. And a lot of times, the people that you have that you're looking at, you're using them as a mirror, they're not there. They're not there. So you have to be there for you. And this is how you can be there for you. You have to recondition your mind to say, if I'm talking and I'm in a room by myself and I'm talking and laughing and everything by myself, because that's the only person that I can trust. That's the only person that's going to get these inside jokes. It's not that you crazy. It's that you have come to understand your value. You have come to understand that you are filling your needs to the best of your ability without bothering anybody else. Without bothering anybody else. So stop depending on other people so heavily and getting upset with them and causing and allowing their absence to cause you dark thoughts because they're not there every moment of all of your day every day. So now you're upset and you feel some type of way about them, but they couldn't control that. And you can't control that either. So you can't control that, oh, well, I need them to be with me every day. You can't control that. And you can't say that they're not your friend or they don't love you or they don't appreciate you because of whatever. Because the only thing that can be so close to you like that is you and God. So you have to build a better relationship. And the way you do that is look at these videos, watch the videos, and guess what? You're going to learn a lot and you're going to be a lot happier. It's not always tickles and giggles. It's not always loud. It's sometimes you have to just take a breath and help yourself and come back to the table stronger and ready for the conversation, ready for the conflicts. Just be here for it and be ready to move around because you don't have to stay in one spot. You don't have to stay in one spot. So watch these videos. These videos are going to help you build you. And if you want to look at it as somebody helping you build you, think of it as me helping you build you. And come back, say it in the comments, and ask questions in these comments, and we'll get the answers out there. If you ask, you'll be rewarded with a free answer. So I hope I've answered the whole alpha female question. And they say, oh, there's no such thing. This one guy on social media, he was telling me there's no such thing as an alpha female. It's just somebody who's going to be single or something like that, he said. I've been with the same guy since I was 15 years old. So much for alpha females not having a positive stigma, a positive stereotype, and really an intelligent, wise, loving, virtuous, or good woman won't let titles hinder her happiness. So if you're saying that an alpha female or a title or somebody or whatever, it's not that. It's they haven't met the right person yet. You might be that person. So keep looking, keep your heart open, and remember, like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to ring that bell so you can be on here the next time I'm on here saying anything that you might like to comment to in the moment that you would like to comment to it. All right. Thanks for your time.